Hi, this is Ashlyn with Bellevue Avenue, and I'm going to show you how to use our digital backgrounds. So here's the image I'm going to demonstrate for you today. So let's go ahead and close this, and I'm going to walk you through how to do this. So our digital backgrounds are pretty neat because we don't just give you a flattened JPEG. We actually give you three-dimensional Photoshop PSD files that you can layer in your image. So let's go ahead and look at this. Here's one of the foreground layers, which is flowers, so you can easily kind of nestle your subject back behind it, and you don't have to worry about cutting out any flowers or doing anything like that. We make it really easy for you to use these digital backdrops. And here's another one. These are the peek-throughs. We love using peek-throughs here at Bellevue Avenue, so we included that. It's optional, of course. And then almost every single one of our backgrounds has creamy light that you can use in your image. So this is the subject that I want to put in with the flowers. And so what we're going to do is Control J to duplicate the background layer. I'm going to name this Girl. And we are going to isolate her. To do that, you would select the Quick Selection tool. And I'm going to make sure that I'm using the plus brush, and my brush size is 10 pixels and hardness at 100%. Okay, and make sure that Auto Enhance is selected. And then we're just gonna go in and start painting around the edges. And it's gonna select it for you. If it goes a little bit over the edge, you can use the minus brush and it will take that little bit off. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to do a quick selection of this whole thing, and you can watch how I isolate her with the selection tool. Okay, so we have everything selected, and now we're going to click on this Refine Edge button. Okay, and then you want to make sure that the Refine Radius tool is selected, and keep this little box open. Don't click any of these buttons yet, and then just any area where there's little flyaways or any of the background peeking through, brush over it, and it's going to help blend that for you. See how it's helping to isolate some of those little hairs right there? Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is click on the Decontaminate Colors, and you don't need to adjust any of these options here, and then click OK, and it creates a layer mask for you. So there she is isolated, and you can see that it's transparent along these edges in some places. We'll probably have to clean up a tiny bit once we get over to the other image. Alright, so now that we have her isolated, we are going to drag the isolated layer right over into the digital backdrop. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. And I'm going to zoom out so I can resize her. And she's a little bit too small for the situation here, so first of all I'm going to drag her behind the flowers. And then I'm going to click Control T and resize her to make sure that it looks appropriate, and that's about right there. Click the check mark to place it, and then now we are just going to do a tiny bit more blending. It looks really good to me right now, but I want to go up and clean up the edges just a little bit. So click on the layer mask and then zoom in here, and if there are any edges that are kind of rough or strange, you can paint on the layer mask to clean those up. Okay, and that's it. It actually did a really good job. I didn't have to clean up too much. So there you go. And I love how she looks in this image. The flowers look beautiful in front of her. It's a big improvement on the other picture, which was just kind of a dirt road. And then now you can add on some of the other things. So if I wanted the peek-throughs, I could add those. And then the creamy light. And what's neat about the creamy light is we can move this around as needed. So I'm going to kind of move this right over her. I'm going to use this layer mask, paint on with my black brush at a low flow, and just kind of paint some of this off of her face a little bit, and a little bit this way. And that is all there is to it. Very easy, a little bit of work on the on isolating it, but not a ton, and you get the realistic look of the little flyaways in her hair. So also, if you want to give it a final touch, you can run an action over it to make sure that all the colors match. So let's try one out. Let's do Sunny Bright Warm. Okay, that's from the Legacy Actions, and I'm just going to bring that down a little bit, the opacity, before and after, and that's all there is to it. So really easy, and we can take her out and put her back in. Actually, there's a little bit of residue there from the action, but let's go ahead and take that off. And there we go. And that's how easy it is. So that's how you use the digital backgrounds, and I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you enjoy this tutorial.